I don't think we did actually. It's secret until about July. So I think we've actually said it.
Yeah, so I was trying to remember whether you said anything. Yeah, I think so.
That's the whole point.
So what made you decide to do that? The opportunity or frustration?
Yes, Richard Pye, who there was a query whether he would do some stuff for you, I think, originally. He does mainly heads and hands, that's his main thing.
Well, maybe you should introduce him to Abby. She might put an expression.
Sorry, it's Antonio.
Ah, sir, hello. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for coming. And it's pride of place on the window.
She's been in pharmaceuticals all her life.
Yes, well, Basel is the capital of the world for pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, I was at Roche.
Oh, were you?
Yeah,
right.
Well, a long time. He was actually head of clinical research. Yeah,
What, at Roche?
Yeah, at Roche.
Oh, I said that correctly?
Yeah, very well.
So I flew to Basel and then got the train to Freiburg and then the mountain railway or whatever you call it. But in Basel, to get the train, I went to the French railway station not realising I was looking around and I was almost on a train until I realised, I thought, this is, they can't. And I couldn't. And they suddenly said, oh no, you want the German railway station.
Which is a different railway station.
So I've never forgotten that.
I finished there now. I'm not working today. No. I was at West
He's
Street.
probably not clocked it yet.
The two merged.
We went to play a tennis match in over on the west side.
Of Oslo or the west of Norway?
West of Norway.
Bergen?
No, south.
In between Stavanger and Bergen, I'm not so sure I could tell you so many places.
You do know it because it's a picturesque place where it's well known for the very keen on tennis. We both play at the All England Club, and so we both play a lot of tennis. And this year we've been tripping around watching tennis, so yeah. It's
But what about?
not competitive singles, but last night I played singles and certainly played doubles.
Yeah, because I know squash is a sport which really it's too much.
Squash I couldn't do. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's too much turning and twisting.
Yeah, exactly.
Play a men's four with your mates, as it were, and have a beer afterwards.
It's come a bit earlier, but the weather didn't.
What do you want super glue for? What do we want super glue for?
Because the free a bit moving a little bit, so I didn't want to fix a little bit, but they're okay, they're fine.
Right.
Once they're put it away nicely, it won't move.
Hello, how are you? Oh, wow. You smarty pants. We're usually in our scruff setting stuff up. We get to celebrate this evening. Suddenly, congratulations, fantastic work. This gallery is full of your work, you know.
So finally you've done.
Yes, it's a labour of love. How can Gemma move from... yeah, she's remarkable, really. Excuse me. Hello.
That's Moira from Bliss Mill.
Oh, hello. We haven't met before, though, have we? No. Thank you. Thank you. No, it's fine. Do stay there. I think I'll just sign. Yes, don't.
Lovely signature.
Well, thank you. I should have. I'm so used to signing prescriptions.
Do you want to sign your book?
Thank you.
While we're here.
Well, they're always late for everything.
Moira. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
Right, just make sure.
Thank you. Yes.
Where are we signing then? On the
legal work and
well, most people don't, and that's what it's all about, because I'm not talking for very long, literally just about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Gemma's speaking first.
Yeah.
So we'll bear that in mind, because
If you're back 6:30, it would be ideal.
Okay.
But I've got to get up to Liverpool Street to get a train to Suffolk. And
Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure. It's great to be here.
I hope you like it. Do you want me to...
Please do, Dave.
my original visit to
Has Gemma signed yours?
Not yet, but I can get her to sign it any time, can't
I forgot it was
I? Stan and Mary.
Stan and Mary.
Gemma, I've got a friend who's got... That's Stan's and mine. That one's for Stan and I.
Wrote to Stan. He said, "Would you give Peter a hug?" So here. That's from Stan.
It's so good of you to come. And I'm said thanks for feedback like that is worth a lot.
It's really nice, and I love the fact that you've got people from all walks of life and all professions, all telling your story. It's great. It's great.
We'll see how it goes, because it's about as dry a subject. Bill will tell you, and yet it's probably the most neglected and most deserving of probably most disease on earth.
How did that happen? Well, I think we know how it happened.
It's tricky. There's my daughter and husband-to-be.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, hello. Gemma. Well, some of the children could start going downstairs. That you talk to. Have you clocked them? Anita and Karen there. Good.
Do you work with Paul Keeley?
Yes.
Yes, he's my doctor.
No, is he? He's very good. He and I are about the only two
in the UK.
In the UK that pretty well do it full time.
I've spent time at the lymphedema hospital in Austria.
Oh yes, the Voda.
That's right, and they were...
Hello, Sue. Just can you watch that and make sure that it...
Okay, I will do. I'll let it dry.
I did have some blotting. Hold this.
I'll hold on to it, thank you.
I'd like to thank you for your other books. I've been using it for years. The guys that you did. Does it know that you're going to be here and I was disappointed I was missing it?
Yes, the Advice for Patients one.
Grab some more books. She's running out.
I just want to introduce myself to you. I emailed you and you emailed me back on Melanie.
Oh, Melanie,
I was so pleased that you emailed me and it's just perfect timing.
Right, Sheila, there we are.
Thank you very
But
much indeed.
my pen is a...
Sorry, Peter. Peter all together himself. So that's how we got the text. So there are a lot of people involved here. You'll see.
You're a celeb. different now. You've morphed from
Might well
man
do.
of your...
This is Melissa. She's the curator at the V&A.
Oh, hello. Thank you
She's the
for
one
coming.
that asked me to speak.
Ah, thank you.
I think when you were looking at an Indian...
Yes, she helped.
I pushed you in the direction of a colleague of mine.
Thank you so much, because that information was very valuable. In the end, a girl, and she needs to come before we can speak, really.
Could you give me one of
That's
these?
Melissa.
Well, I don't mean give, do I?
Yes, you do.
No.
I think that's a...
Would you like a check for it?
No, it's free.
Really?
For everyone invited tonight, it's free.
Is there anybody here from the lymphedema support group?
Yes, they're downstairs. Bill Rapecci there is the American boss, CEO of the American thing. And downstairs is Anita and Karen, who are the...
Who it was, Terence was talking about, Terry Waite.
Yes.
Anita what? Who?
Wallace.
Down there. Terry's down
I would imagine that two of your daughters are here.
Three
images of Penny.
Yes.
Is the third one here?
I think they've gone downstairs. They're all here, I think.
Right.
My son's over there. With
I would never have recognised her.
She kind of gave me the tea to give to you.
It's quite the opposite of chip off the old block, isn't it?
first. No, it's
so,
with love.
No.
With love. No money. We're not into money.
Can you hear me downstairs?
Yes, I can hear.
This is Gemma Levine.
Hello.
I'll hold it.
You'll hold it, okay. Well, we're here to celebrate. And why are we celebrating? We're celebrating this incredible book called Let's Talk Lymphedema. My co-author, Professor Mortimer, and myself welcome you all. And we're so pleased that we had such a wonderful turnout tonight.
Fantastic.
Firstly, I must thank Abby Hignell, wherever she is. She is the owner of this gallery, and she was so generous in letting us have the space tonight. So many thanks for Abby. And now I must give a huge thanks to our sponsors who have come all the way over from Munich, from Germany, to be with us tonight. There's Anna Rosa Zorn and Jürgen Gold.
Thank you.
They're just here. So it's an enormous thanks from both Peter and I, because they've been so amazingly generous in sponsoring us and have been so supportive. And I remember very well Adam, who is part of the team, taking me to Munich, and I saw their factory, and I was amazingly impressed. It was a compression garment factory, and when I got there I was expecting something quite modest, but when I was looking around I thought I was in Terminal 5 at Heathrow. It was wonderful, and thank you so much from Peter and myself. And now, as I have welcomed all of my guests, I want to point out just one or two extra ones that have flown in especially to be with us. We have Zelda from Israel, Christina from Switzerland, Chris and Bert Klomp from Holland, Janet from New York, and Stella from France. And it's wonderful to see them. But I'm not forgetting my fantastic son Adam, who came in from Norway this morning, and that really made my day. I don't know where's Adam?
Somewhere over here.
Adam did say to me at lunchtime today, well, I said to him I was talking about a future project, another book, and he said, Mum, you've brought me here under false pretenses. You said this was your last book. So
we'll see.
Here we are. Now we have some guests of honor. We've got our lovely Rafa here. Say hello. Who is one of Peter's patients and has lymphedema. You can show your hand in his hands, and he's very brave. And I watched him play tennis with Peter in Wimbledon, and he was absolutely brilliant. I don't think he beat you, but he was
not
terrific.
Far off.
Not far off. Thank you for coming. And we have another guest of honor who probably has got lost in the rain.
3 minutes, okay.
Okay, we'll wait for her. And then, where's William? William
Bill, there's Bill.
There's Bill. And we welcome Bill from USA with Michael. And Bill is the president and CEO of LEARN. LEARN meaning the Lymphatic Education and Research Network. So welcome to Bill. Behind the scenes, I want to make just a special mention to Penny Mortimer, who's been absolutely fantastic and supportive.
Yeah.
And Michael Bernstein.
Yeah.
Where is he? He's over there.
Well done.
Who also has been a tower of strength. Thank you both very much. And we have many contributors here tonight. There are so many that I just couldn't start naming you all, who were all so enthusiastic to write for us, and we thank them. And of course our publishers, Elliot and Thompson. Unfortunately they couldn't come tonight, but they sent us obviously good wishes, and
the books.
We thank Jenny Condell and Pippa Crane. Okay, next. Peter's timing me. I said I wouldn't speak more than 2 minutes.
2 minutes, she said, yes, 2 minutes.
But why am I here tonight? Well, it started like this. I had cancer, and a month or so after my operation, I found that my arm was swollen. And I went to my surgeon to check what had happened, and he said, "Oh, you're very unlucky, you've got lymphedema." I said, what? Lymphedema. What's that? I said. Well, he said, here's a booklet, and I want you to go and see a remedial massage man. So that was the start of it. Sometime later, not too long later, after I had done a little research on what lymphedema was all about and what I was about to suffer, I was featured in a documentary, BBC 2 documentary, and my doctor came into my room. Aha, we've got Arabella. Arabella, come round here. I'm just finishing a little chat and then we'll talk to you. So my doctor came and looked at me and studied my arm, and he said, "Oh, how are you doing with your lymphedema?" So I said, "Okay," and it was all a matter of a clip of about 1 or 2 minutes. Then I actually watched the film with the documentary people, and when I got home after that, I looked at my emails, and there were 40 to 50 emails, all of which were saying, "Oh, you've got lymphedema, my mother, my sister," and so on. And I thought, turned off the computer and I thought, my goodness, what's all this? I think it's time I did a book. So that was the beginning. I then went to see a lymphedema specialist called Carmel Phelan, who was fantastic with me, and she still is, as I visit her every month. But I said to her, I had this idea about a book. What do you think? And the first thing she said, "You must meet Professor Mortimer." And I said, "Oh, okay, I will." So she said, "It's not as easy as that." She said, "It is much simpler to get an audience with the Queen than to meet Professor Mortimer." So I went to my oncologist, Paul Ellis, and Paul Ellis picked up the phone, rang up Peter and said, "You must see Gemma Levine." Peter did. I went to St George's Hospital in Wimbledon, where Peter is a dermatologist there at that hospital, and I was waiting quietly on my own by the reception for Peter to come and pick me up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I looked down the corridor and there were 2 men there, one very small and fat, and one tall and elegant. And I thought to myself, oh gosh, I bet I get the small fat one. So I was sitting there, and the small fat one came walking towards me, and instead of directing himself at me, he went further on. And then slowly, this tall, elegant man came towards me, and I thought, oh, gosh, I've got Peter O'Toole coming to talk. He's lovely. Anyway, Peter and I got on well, and we discussed the prospect of a book, and here we are today. Peter is a professor of
dermatological
medicine at both the St George's Hospital and the Royal Marsden. He spent most of his life in research of clinical practice of lymphedema, and he is a great tennis enthusiast. So, my friends, I've spoken for over 3 minutes, so I have to go now. And I pass you on to Peter, and thank you again so much for coming. Yeah. But before I finish, I've got this wonderful Arabella. Come here, Arabella. This is my guest of honor called Arabella Roberts, and she has come specially tonight to be with us because she's one of Peter's patients, and I have the honor of photographing her about a year ago in hospital, right, Arabella? Yeah. And she has written in the book a most wonderful chapter for us, which you'll all read. I can't quite remember what page. I think it's 154, I'm not sure. But I want to tell you a little about her dress tonight. Arabella is wearing a dress from a friend of mine who is a designer in America called Pat Kerr-Tigert, who, when she heard that Arabella was coming to be a guest of honor, she said, let me make her a dress for a very special lady for a very special occasion. And here we are, and this is Arabella. Thank you.
It's so popular, there's a real crush by the door. If we could encourage people to come this way,
come this way a little
we can
bit.
get people out of the rain.
Oh yes, next to Gemma. Where was
Are you all right, Arabella?
Yes, she's lovely.
Can everybody hear me, including downstairs? Well, that was a good. That was a very typical 2-minute speech by Gemma, but wonderful nevertheless. And I'll try not to keep you too long, but I'd want to thank you all for coming, because it really is a privilege to have so many friends and colleagues come to support this book. And I would like to echo Gemma's words of thanks to all concerned, our publishers, to Juzo, for Anna Rosa and Jürgen for sponsoring the book. And particularly I'm most grateful to Bill Repecci, CEO of the main non-profit organisation in the world for supporting lymphedema, and Bill's come over specially for the launches, and I'm very grateful for that commitment and support, Bill. So Gemma's instructed me to say a little bit about the book. So the first question is, why do a book on lymphedema? And the answer, the simple answer, is because Gemma asked me to, as you've just heard. But the real answer is because lymphedema is one of the most common, yet most neglected diseases on the planet. It's not just a Western society disease. As you'll see from the book, it's very, very common across the world in developing countries. So if you ask any sufferer of lymphedema, you find they've usually struggled to get a diagnosis and treatment. Indeed, lymphedema, I think, is one of those few conditions where the patient very quickly will know more about the condition than the doctor that they see. It's so poorly known about, even amongst the medical profession. So what is it? Well, I don't want to give you a physiology lesson because you'll have to read the book. But lymphedema is a disease arising from a failure of the lymph system to work properly. And doctors can tell you quite a lot about the heart and circulation, but when you mention the lymph system, they'll probably just glaze over and move on swiftly. And it's a telling fact that we have hundreds of drugs that work on the heart and the circulation, but not yet one drug that works on the lymph system to improve function. And that surely has to change. So is it Christina from Roche? Yes, so I hope you agree with me. The lymph system is a network of tubes connected to the lymph glands responsible for cleansing the body's tissues. And it's also important for recycling valuable cells and fluid, and it's also part of our immune system that fights infection. And both Arabella and Rafa will tell you, and many of the patients, some of them are here tonight, will tell you that it's dreadful when the infections occur. And Gemma, of course. So when the lymph system doesn't work properly, lots of things go wrong, but in particular, you get swelling and you get horrendous infections. So that's what lymphedema is about. It's common. It's arguably as common as Alzheimer's disease, and certainly much more common than AIDS or multiple sclerosis, yet few have ever heard of it. And if it is known about, then it's usually following cancer treatment. And several people have said tonight, isn't that what you get after cancer? And the answer is yes, you can get it after cancer. 1 in 5 breast cancer patients, unfortunately, will get lymphedema. But actually, breast cancer-related lymphedema only makes up 1/8 of all forms of lymphedema. So cancer is not the commonest cause. Worldwide, infections like elephantiasis, you might say, elephantiasis, is that the elephant man? No, it's not the elephant man, but it is a horrendously big, grotesque leg as a result of a mosquito bite infection, and that affects about 140 million people in developing countries. So it's a common problem. Now, the aims of the book is designed to explain in the simplest possible terms, and only you will tell me whether we've got it right in that regard. It uses real patient stories, Arabella's, Rafa's, and others here tonight, to illustrate what happens to sufferers of lymphedema. Gemma's story, she's already told you how she could no longer use her professional heavy cameras to work. Cancer didn't stop her, but lymphedema did. Now, in the book, there are moving stories from many patients, both this country and in the States. And Bill has worked very much with Kathy Bates, an Oscar-winning actress, and Kathy has contributed to the book and has done an enormous amount with Bill for the advocacy of lymphedema. So I'd like to thank all those patients who provided their case histories, some anonymously, and some, like Rafa and Arabella, were prepared to stand up and say, look, we need to fight against lymphedema, and we need to get better recognition and treatment for this disease. We were honoured to have Her Royal Highness Princess Alexandra do the foreword for the book. And if any of you know how the charities work with the royal family, they've got to have a link. And Princess Alexandra is the president of Sightsavers, and is very involved with neglected tropical diseases, of which elephantiasis, or lymphedema, is actually one of the commonest. So we were really, really pleased that she was able to support us. And the book features contributions from international experts, well-known personalities, and we were fortunate to have so many dignitaries provide endorsements for the book, and some of them are here tonight. Terry Waite, Lord Guthrie, have said, you know, that this needs supporting, and we were very grateful for their interest. Now, I just want to I'm nearly at an end. Thanks to Gemma, my co-author. Now, Gemma is remarkable. She's not only internationally known portrait photographer and author of 20 books, but she has extraordinary drive and organisational skills. And no Gemma will agree with me on this one. The book was conceived by Gemma. It was implemented by Gemma. Okay, I did some of the writing, but I would not have completed that without her encouragement. She took the photographs for the book and selected those most appropriate with typical artistic taste. She obtained 99% of the quotes from the famous people and celebrities that I think have added so much to the book. In fact, it was an inspired move, because I think it will make a very dry subject. It will suddenly make people sit up and take notice. She, with Abby, has organised this evening's launch, and so none of this would have happened without Gemma. So thank you. And, oh yes, and have a look at Antonio's sculpture, which he did over there for me, of the lymphatic circulation with blood circulation. Also brings it to life as a sculpture. And so I don't know what my evenings without the almost nightly phone call with Gemma are going to be like from now on. I joke, but her calls were actually an invaluable way of ensuring we were kept on track. She certainly kept me on track. I'd like to finish by thanking my family, all of whom are here, apart from 2 sons-in-law who are looking after the grandchildren. And I'd particularly like to thank my wife, Penny. She's downstairs. for her input, particularly the professional knowledge and sound judgment that she brings to everything I do. And her input was crucial to the style of the book and how it reads. So I hope, in conclusion, the book increases awareness of lymphedema, as well as improve knowledge of this awful disease, and in so doing, improve the plight of so many sufferers, such as Rafa and Arabella. So thank you all for coming.
Just a couple of announcements. All books tonight are free of charge, so anybody that would like a book is more than welcome. And the other announcement is that next week, Professor Mortimer and William Rapici will be lecturing at the LOC in Harley Street, and anybody that would like to go and hear them, would they please contact me? I think most people have my email address, and I will tell them whether we have availability and whether they can come. And again, it's free of charge, and we'd love to see them. Thank you.
Thank you very much.